While some governors are using the COVID crisis to grab more power and undermine their citizens' constitutional rights, my next guest is among those actually trying to preserve liberty while also saving lives, and he's taking on officials in his own state to do it. Georgia Governor Kemp is suing the city of Atlanta for mandating masks, but mainly for going back into lockdown. This morning, Atlanta's mayor responded.
It is mind-boggling that this governor wastes resources on suing me personally and our city council for a mask mandate and advisory voluntary business recommendations and guidelines. It is very clear that he is putting politics over people. It is really a distraction from what the real enemy is here.
Governor Kemp joins me now exclusively. Governor, it's great to see you. What's your response to the mayor there?
Well, Laura, let me tell you what's really going on in Georgia. I'm working very hard every day and have been for, a long time now to protect the lives as well as the livelihoods of my fellow citizens. However, we have people, local mayors that are playing politics. They, want to go back to shelter in place. They want to, stop in-person dining with no notice, just pulling the rug out from under people. And I'm just not going to allow that to happen. We're fighting two battles here now, one to protect lives, but also to protect livelihoods. And so I filed a lawsuit to stop them because those orders are in conflict with the statewide order that I have executed for the public health state of emergency.
Well, Governor Kemp, there are those who would say, look, if the masks help in 10% of the cases, then why isn't that good enough to just say, look, you can save some lives, maybe they're not 100%. Isn't that worth this ongoing mask mandate some of these mayors have in place? What would your response to that be?
Well, I think a little differently on that. Dr. Toomey, I'm still following the health advice that she's given me. She's a 40-year epidemiologist, Harvard educated, great person, a lot of experience, as much as anybody in the country. I don't feel like a mandate's needed for Georgians to do the right thing. We have existing orders on the books, Laura, and this is what's so frustrating about the lot of the locals that are playing politics with this, is we have orders on the books that has worked in the past. It helped us flatten the curve. It helped us stop the spread. They have the ability through my order to use their law enforcement to enforce those orders, and they're not doing that. And that's what I've been telling them. Instead of having a government mandate, enforce the orders that we have, make sure businesses are following the rules, people are socially distancing. I've been talking about people wearing a mask as much as anybody. And I said today in my press conference, for those that just do not want to wear a mask, if you have a health condition that prevents it or some sort of phobia or anything else, just socially distance yourself. If everybody does their part, we'll flatten the curve again, we'll stop the spread, and we can continue to reopen our economy. But it's so important that we do that. I mean, we literally have people that are living paycheck to paycheck. They're barely getting by in this economic environment. Our business owners, the amount of mortgages aren't being paid on time is going up. And we're looking at, large companies like Delta Airlines and others that in the future, if the economy doesn't rebound, they're going to be forced to start laying people off. So we've got to keep our economy open, but also fight the virus and protect lives. And that's what we're doing.
Governor Kemp, this is kind of a controversial question, but do you think that there is something else going on here where there's some element within the Democrat Party who think a shutdown, it probably would save lives, people would be at home, but that would actually pull the brakes on a recovery, which is obviously underway, before a presidential election? I'm asking that because that's what so many of my viewers are wondering, saying, wait a second, we know there's some hot spots, that you're dealing with those, but you shut this economy down in a lot of states again, and we're toast.
Yeah, people can't handle it. I wouldn't be able to speak to their politics. It certainly seems like they're trying to undermine our economic recovery. I'm as concerned about the virus as anybody. We're working with our local school leaders and our school superintendent to get schools open. I got just accosted when I started opening businesses early on by the left because they were making fun of us opening barbershops and hair salons. And now they're saying that the guidance that we had, having people wear a mask and use PPE and have these rules in place have kept the spread down in our salons and barbershops. So I don't know. I mean, it's got to be pandemic politics, but I know this, talking to our hospital CEOs, they cannot go through what we did before. They will not be financially viable. It will bankrupt our hospitals. Yeah. We've heard from restaurateurs out there that are like, if we have to shut down again, if we have to move away from in-person dining, we're out for good.
No, it's
and our country and our state can't afford that.
Finally, sir, really quick, University of Georgia, are they going to be playing football in the fall?
Well, I've told all the young people, including my daughters, who are doing a really good job of following guidance most of the time, that our young folks need to wear a mask if they're going out and they can't socially distance, and they've got to follow the guidance and the advice if they want college football this fall. You know, that is like a religion here in the South. I want to see it happen. It's a huge economic impact, but we need it mentally as a society right now. So that's why I'm asking everybody for the next 4 weeks, wear a mask, socially distance, wash your hands, and follow the existing guidance that we have. It'll work and flatten the curve.
Governor, great to see you tonight. Thanks for fighting for small businesses and parents and people who want to go to school. And it's inspiring to see. I'm glad you're out there doing it. And best of luck to you, sir.
God bless you.